Welcome back, guys, to PCS3 North America, day one, week one, coming into the final game now. Again, a fantastic game four for us this evening. Godspeed. I mean, it just has not stopped delivering.
Today has been honestly
One of the best days
awesome.
of North American PUBG. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, today has been truly awesome. In recent memory, this has been fantastic showing for a lot of the teams that we wanted to see do better. And it's been a challenge for some of the teams that we expected to do well, which is always entertaining. You know, you want to see the teams that are usually on the top kind of struggle a little bit and see how they deal with that pressure. Obviously, Oath is no stranger to that, and neither is Soniqs, but Soniqs is also doing really well. So I think Zenith is the big one that I'm talking about here as far as what we expect from them. They did have a little bit of a slip up in the beginning, but that last game was really well finished by them. So
It was,
overall, I like what we're seeing.
Yeah, as we do take a quick look at the match leaderboard, Zenith clawing back some of the points missed out on a wrangle. So good start for Miramar. I mean, if they can end, it's going to be a decent top 5 position. I mean, it should be top 3, really. They should close that gap between, but elsewhere, Hardshifts again putting up 17 points. Rumblers putting up 14 points.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, Soniqs again, literally, Soniqs, Hardshifts, and actually Tactical 8. This is obviously the first bad game they've had. But just consistently putting up double digits. Again, a pretty even spread across the middle of the pack. DUEL putting 6 up. Veritas tied with them at 6. Oath 5, and Pros Don't Snake rounding out the top 8 with 4.
Veritas as well. I think not having necessarily the best day. They're not having the worst either, but they've been kind of caught in some unfortunate fights where they've been sandwiched.
Yeah, some weird spots.
TAC 8 though, even though it looks like just 2 points, I mean that's at least the top 8 finish with 1 kill. So even still, not really the worst, especially with how good their showing has been so far. I'm really just kind of looking at as far as the team that's floundering right now. It's kind of one eye open. These guys are struggling pretty heavily, as well as Ascendance, Virtue, and PDS.
Yep, and you see Zenith do put themselves into 4th after that previous game. Rumblers edging up the leaderboard as well, getting themselves into a 5th spot. But again, that gap between 3rd and 4th now, 22 points. It's Tactical 8, Soniqs, and Hardshifts. Hardshifts already pulling ahead. 17-point lead ahead of Soniqs with 1 game left to play. And really, really good start from these guys tonight. Again, as we go a bit further down the list, we start talking about some of the disappointments. Again, Zenith turning things around, but Veritas, DUEL, Oath, I mean, Liberate still stand out to me as well.
Yeah.
So going to need a good final game from a couple of teams here.
And to be completely fair to Liberate as well, I mean, they just gutted half their roster technically. You know what I mean? They brought in 2 new members. So I feel like that's going to definitely take a little bit of getting used to, take its toll as far as their point total is concerned. However, I think with the talent that they brought in, once we get towards the end of the group stage, at least I hope.
I think they will adapt. I think they will adapt fairly quickly. And I mean, one thing to consider is they haven't necessarily had a blank canvas in scrims, right? We've already talked about the problems they have with Clueless on both maps.
They haven't even really been able to play the way they want. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Luckily, though, you know, they do have experience under their belt, and they have arguably one of the best players North America has ever fielded, and that's Baja. You know what I mean? So I'm not necessarily worried about them. It's just the first day, and I do see them kind of getting into their groove, but this thorn in their side of Clueless is not helping.
No, it's definitely not, and it's actually funny to say. At the start of the night, we were talking about Clueless actually coming out on top in terms of scrims. Clueless have struggled today, and it's not necessarily been Liberate that's the deciding factor in that, right?
Yeah,
I mean, not at least in what was I going to say? Not at least in terms of team fight, but maybe throwing off their rotations a little bit. I don't know. Maybe, like you said, the thorn in the side and just the lingering thought.
Yeah, because that threat of them, you know, making a play off of that very close drop, it's not necessarily a hot drop, right? But it's still very much uncomfortable to have a team that close to you on the drop because you know they potentially can push you at any time. Luckily, though, for both Liberate and for Team Clueless, they're dead center circle. So they don't really need to worry about that. If they do get in a fight, sure, they can literally hang out as long as they want and reset because they don't have to go anywhere. They don't have to rotate. So this may be a really good game for, you know, the Liberate that we want to see. But Team Clueless, you know, they're always there. They're always a thought in the back of their mind, as you said.
I mean, coming back to it, this is the closest to a blank canvas they're going to get, right? They don't have to worry about rotating away and where they're going to be lurking and whatnot. So I have to wait and see how this one plays out. But on board now. A kickstart again off the back of that previous game win. Maybe going to put some wind in the sails, so to say, and hopefully follow up that win with another good game here on the final game on Miramar.
Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, I mean, no matter what happens today, I think people really just need to remember that this is just the first day of groups. Sure, some teams are obviously killing it. Hardshifts, Soniqs, T8, like they obviously have a very comfortable lead, but that can very quickly change as well. So we'll have to see. Obviously, this is the last game of the day. Going into tomorrow, it will still be all weekend Erangel, and then the last two maps will be Miramar. But there's still a lot of games to be played, and this is a rotating group stage, so you know.
Exactly. And what I was going to say was we're playing for top 16.
Right.
We're not, I mean, yes, there's money involved, but
sure, it matters if you win, but yeah, you're just looking for the top 16. I couldn't agree with you more.
The big prize is to advance. So maybe we're seeing a couple of teams, you know, not necessarily, I mean, coast is probably the right word, right?
Yeah.
Do what's necessary.
I just hope, Puck, that we don't see some teams fall into the pitfall where it's like, oh, we don't need to place top 5 or top 8. We don't even need to win. We just need to, you know, coast on by, as you said, in the top 16. And we've seen that so many times in the past where the teams that coast end up being in trouble and then either barely qualify or they don't qualify at all. So that being said, you know, we talked about group stages and how they still have time. That doesn't mean that I feel like any of these teams should, quote unquote, take it easy.
See, one eye open, absolutely dead last on the leaderboard. Hopefully you're going to be able to put something up in the final game.
I feel like this is a name, this is a throwback, right? Patron? I mean, I remember
Patron's been around.
He's been around for a long time.
He was on the original Zenith roster with
yeah.
Who was it with?
It was
Kendo,
Lister, Kendo, I think, right?
And
Roth and Patron. Yeah, that was the original Zenith. True.
Yeah.
Here he is again. Yeah, he's been around for a while. I think Lister's in this lobby too, if I'm not mistaken. I think he's in Gravity. Am I wrong? I think I'm wrong. I could be wrong.
Sure.
I'm always wrong. Oh, it's Lip Sin. I'm so sorry. Yeah, see, I knew I was wrong.
Yeah, it's close enough.
I called myself out. I am incredibly disappointed in the lack of back and front flips that we've seen from these.
I'm going to be sending out a message in the PCS Discord. I'm going to be sending out a message.
Also, as an admin of High Ground, I think you need to do something about it.
I'm going to be assigning the rat role later tonight.
Yeah, and obviously, excuses. This is another one of those circles where these teams are just going to be setting up. A lot of these guys are just going to be looking for, you know, just feeling each other out at the different positions. Obviously, Balefrost is about to find out that TAC 8 is under them, but I don't know if TAC 8 is really a team you want to mess with right now.
No, like I said earlier, I see them in a kill feed. I'm rotating away because they've had their Weetabix today. And again, a team like that, you know, that did underperform, that now have this massive surge of confidence. You don't want to mess with a team like that. You really don't, because I mean, when they're feeling it, they're just going to keep doing it, right? They'll just keep pushing, keep taking his team fights. We saw it in the last game on Erangel, that team fight with DUEL, where, you know, Lush didn't back down. Like, no. They didn't look to peel away from that situation at all.
Lush was also, I think, at a quarter health, and he still went up and got the knock too, which again is, I mean, playing against Lush in the past, I mean, he was a much more passive player. So the fact that he even got up to do that play with such low health, it shows improvement on everyone on that team. I mean, these guys are all playing way more aggressive. We saw SteeZybb go for that kind of wide push, and then he got that disgusting turn. I mean, these guys are playing at a different level than they have in the past, and it's great to finally see, to be completely honest with you, because I love these guys.
Yeah, and board now with Veritas. This is one of the teams that I was super excited to see. Again, I think Michael is one of those players that's just consistently underrated. He's a very, very talented player. And D-Treats as well, I think, given an opportunity with this roster to, I guess, really expand on those couple of games where we've seen him pop off and just do some insane things.
D-Treats, I was always impressed with D-Treats, to be completely honest with you. He's always been just like a really good mechanical player. He has a really good, really good game sense as well. But Veritas, you know, that being said, as well as having Michael on that team, they are kind of struggling today. I don't really think that's something that people are going to argue. It's been a rough day for them.
It has indeed.
PDS as well. I mean,
I mean, Seal's really just doing a tour on the bottom of the leaderboard right now, dude. Like, come on.
Actually,
man.
Lister is on PDS. Not I knew he was somewhere in the
He was somewhere in here, yeah.
I just didn't know where he was. Yeah. And he's dead also, which is really unfortunate.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's when you realize he's in the lobby. When he appears on the right side of the queue.
I'm not throwing shade at him either. It's just that all happened in the most unfortunate of circumstances. But I'm glad he's here. I'm glad he's playing, even though this lobby is, he's back in the lobby, rather. Unlucky, man. And here comes Virtue. Virtue is an interesting roster as well, that I kind of want to talk about a little bit. Right now, the roster is Supernova, Evasion, Tanaka, and Batty Lol. Right? Batty is someone that we saw recently on Radiance, which is now the Rumblers, former Radiance. Had some moments there where he made some decent plays but struggle. I'm really hoping on this new roster he kind of finds his own, so to speak. Very similar to the way that we saw Honey Badger kind of thrive a little bit in 303 when he had a couple really good weeks of gameplays there as well. So we'll see.
Meanwhile, Evasion looked like he tried to jump out of the way of his teammate there. Or jump over the bike. They're just pulling stunts. They're pulling stunts down there.
Like, oh, they're talking about us? Yeah, check this out. As we very heavily anticipate this first shift.
Just like absolute silence there.
A little camera shake for confirmation, but yeah, this is
about the most straightforward shift we've seen, right? To be honest,
I mean, the last game was pretty straightforward too. The first shift, at least. I mean, this could obviously get really wacky really fast. As I say that, shots are going to be coming out from the Rumblers onto Lobes, who just barely escapes actually with his life on that bike. He's lucky none of the tires got shut off, and Hardshifts are actually taking a lot of fire from the Rumblers right now. As we see Rip in the kill feed knocking Balefrost. That is just a knock. He's still going to be alive potentially. Yeah, I don't know if he's going to be able to flush that.
Yeah, look at that knock.
Can he flush that? I think he's actually still hitting him. Yeah, he's gone. Bale is dead. That is gross.
That is from downtown.
Jeez, that is ridiculous. And he got the flush. What a shot from Rip.
Don't tell me that was out of a vehicle. I mean, first off, I don't know why Balefrost would be walking out in the open.
Yeah, it's very true. And sometimes that happens. I mean, that's happened. How many times that happened to you in a game where you just die from a disgusting long shot in a vehicle? You're like, yeah, that can't really.
You don't even try and avoid the flush. Just like, yeah, just kill me.
Yeah, it is what it is. It looks like Team Clueless now fighting PDS. PDS continues to struggle, man. These guys are not finding their footing in this lobby so far.
It's not pretty to watch. Ambino going to flush that one out, so Skazka now the last remaining member for Prosdome Snake, and I mean Clueless. They might be clueless, but they're probably going to figure out pretty quickly where he is.
Yeah, and I don't know if they'll push that. We'll see. That position that he's in. I mean, I think Skazka. Wait a second. T8 scouting out Oath here. Lush being far more active than I remember, and that's a good thing. I truly mean that as a compliment.
Yeah, I mean, this is the longest I've ever seen him on his feet.
Okay, you have a different history with Lush, so I'm not going to speak on that.
Delete the VOD, CD6. Yeah, delete the VOD.
I have nothing as far as, you know. I never really had to deal with the hot drops or any of that gameplay with Lush, but you and him have a special history.
Yeah, there's a fond place in my heart.
Yep, all in Rozhok.
Yep.
Fabled with again that point on the board that Rip had gotten earlier with that disgusting kill onto Bale, but they've had an okay day. You know, it's not been great. It's not been awful. They found some kills here. They've had some really good plays, especially in that field ending where they got second. That was actually really well played for them up until that point.
Yeah, I mean, again, another team like Veritas, they've got themselves into some weird scenarios. It's not necessarily been, you know, a huge misplay.
Something like a failure.
Like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lobes again in the crosshairs of the Rumblers and Los AD. He is actually going to make it out this time around, and actually all the members do, but now it looks like Maluk, and then we're going to run into the Soniqs. Soniqs are far away from the circle right now. And especially with Veritas coming in that southwest region, Puck.
Yeah. All I'm thinking now is Soniqs obviously have the route along that high ground, along the ridge that wraps around that other crater.
And look at TAC 8 cutting off Veritas.
Yeah, this is interesting. Actually, Michael's kind of leading the pack here for Veritas.
And Lush gonna get out. Wait, Keenan's
just pulling up.
He's just going in for the push. Shots are going to be coming in. He's getting shot from all over the place. He's going to go in, find the flush, and Keenan lives.
There's no trade there.
No, there's no trade at all. Zealot had the opportunity to easily get a trade there. Unfortunately, he wasn't there for it. And now, because of that nice grenade, though, as I say that, he definitely makes up for William. Going to take the flush. And all of a sudden...
One more member inside the compound here, though.
I don't think Zealot can get out. I think it's blocking his path. And still, TAC 8 is taking this fight to Veritas, and they are all clumped up here. And that's going to be an easy knock for Zealot. Can he get a second one? He does.
Wow. Okay, so just one member standing now for Veritas. He's very low HP. He might swing out the door here. Comes in.
Wow.
There you go, around the side, and it's actually H-Twin.
This is crazy. Oh!
Wait. No, H-Twin stole one. H-Twin stole a kill.
But even still, the work that T8 put in there, the way they cut off Veritas, the crash from Keenan, I just wonder about that a little bit. I think they just wanted to go for the fight, but I mean, Keenan did well to get, I think he got a knocker, he got a flush. Either way, man, Tactical 8 continues to impress. And Veritas, unfortunately, continues to find some hard times.
And speaking of hard times, 2 of Clueless will fall over here. Only 1 flush coming out just now, but Gravity looking to get aggressive over on the side of this. There's the sweeping ridge underneath that.
Yeah, smoke's coming out. Looks like Gravity does want to indeed get aggressive and finish this off. Nice headshot onto Shrew. That's going to cause some problems. Lipson's going to be pushing in. Liberate on the other side of this as well. They could potentially third party if they want to, but this might just be all Gravity as they start to push Hambino away. As much as I like the hand, man. This is zone control at this point. He's just trying to hold them off.
Yep. Yeah, a lot of utility invested though, but I mean, Gravity can just wrap on this. They have all the information because of the high ground position.
Yeah, they can wrap on it. They can disengage if they want to, although I don't think they will because they have Clueless on the ropes. But yeah, they have all the room to work with, and really it's just TC backed up into a corner here. I don't know what they do. This helps a little bit.
Wait, is Waldo the last man for the Rumblers?
Yeah, what happened to Rumblers? We just saw Los taking shots at Hardshifts.
What?
When?
Okay, Rumblers are...
Wait.
Okay.
Wait.
Okay. So Waldo...
So what happened to Waldo then, though? Did he not have a vehicle? Did he...
He fancied footing it. I mean, sometimes you just got to foot it from there. There we go. Lipsim will finally clean up Sharu. Clueless will fall in 15th. As I'm sure in the next couple of minutes we'll see what Waldo's plan is. Hopefully. Hopefully it will become apparent.
I don't know where he is. That's crazy. What if they 400 IQ'd us and they left Waldo there on purpose? What are the chances?
Yeah, they're like, go play spoiler to the 14s on the south.
You got me. You got me, Pac. Oh, Waldo. Moving on.
Yep. Okay, it didn't pay off.
No,
back to the drawing board with that
one. Listen, it was one they've been holding in their back pocket. I honestly think maybe just something happened and he wasn't able to. We're just giving Waldo a hard time.
Yeah.
Hardshifts. Really. I actually really do love that kid. He's one of my favorite teammates.
Wait, Fabel making a mad dash. As soon as Tactical 8 died there, both Hardshifts and Fabel.
Rip is actually just sending it right above to get an angle down on Hardshifts.
Greg just double mollied himself and Haxetti.
That's the second 1G. And in fact, that's a 1G collateral as well.
Yeah, it is. It's the highest tier of the 1G.
Jeez, that sucks, man, for Fabel, because that potentially could have been a nice fight, especially with the aggression and honestly the stones on Rip to just send it right past Hardshifts like that, and now they're just going to be coming full force. I can't imagine he's going to survive this. Yeah, that's it,
No.
man. That just sucks. That sucks for not Hardshifts, excuse me. That sucks for Fabled. And here we have Soniqs now opening up a fight onto what looks like it was Liberate, as there's just now Baja Waka. But I'll tell you what, if there's one member that you want up on your team, Baja is definitely not a bad choice.
Nope. Definitely isn't, as the rest of the Rumblers now hoping to pay homage to... Okay.
Waldo.
I was trying to swing a pan.
And Ripper is right in the next one. Ascendance finally... with the opportunity to make some noise in some of these games. They've gone up kind of without a whimper here, but look at Beck. I love this angle from Beck. I loved it. Not anymore.
Yeah, it's swinging a little wide there, I'm not going to lie.
And Ripper behind the box. Can he find this? Not. I like this. Beautiful. This is
catch.
No, don't shoot yet.
He's shooting the pan. He's actually just put half of his scar clip into that pan. Oh my... How is he not burning?
McCoy, that is...
McCoy just lost 60 pounds to become skinny enough to avoid that.
He was already pretty small to begin with, but wow. Beck gonna take out Los. Wow, Rumbler's falling apart actually on this push.
Yeah, McCoy is literally 5 HP. He will fall, and that's the Rumblers going down in 11th place after... one of the most optimistic 3-1 splits I've ever seen on Miramar. But
I have to. I'm gonna ask Waldo. I'm gonna ask what happened there.
I don't want to. Lost will shout at me.
Well, overall, it hasn't been a terrible day for the Rumblers. That's just not the greatest stamp on the end of the day, but I think they'll be fine.
I think they will indeed.
Yeah, it's not so. I mean, it's nice for them finally getting some points on the board, getting some kills, and as Gravity is sending it in with 6 kills, as it is to the edge of the circle, there's nothing there, Lipson. You got to keep going as Soniqs trying to take out their similarly colored rivals as he rotates past. And he's actually going to make it into this compound that is just barely, that long building is just, the barn is just barely in there. And
he's
where he
live
parks,
to see another one, but
maybe.
I mean, well, yeah, maybe. He's got to get his vehicle safe first, and I don't think it's going to be safe to the north. So,
an Oath is continuing to just kind of have a rough day today. It's been a rough swing of things for them. Smoke for reload. They should be able to get him up. Nope, I lied. Too long.
Yeah, it was tricky there because Pat has to stick that first aid.
He does.
The utility coming in, that's optimistic.
Oh!
Oh my word!
I really want someone to sound
They can't miss.
Reaction from
They can't miss.
So good. As now Lipson, I mean, what is his option here? He could potentially... that nade was disgusting. I didn't think it would bounce. I don't think he cooked it at all, to be honest. I think that's why it... Oh, goodness. Pan kill. Good night, sweet prince.
Wow. And now Lipson will make his dash. Don't pull up towards Hardshifts, dude. Do not go anywhere near that valley. We've got
I don't think he's going to get the opportunity to... Oh, little backwards? Ooh!
Oh.
That was clean AF. Okay. That was super clean. Can I say that? I think I can say that.
I think you can say that.
I think I can say that. That was... This man got turned around and he immediately put that bad boy in reverse and hit the gas. That was clean. I got to give it to him. Skazka, meanwhile, still... How did he actually make it all the way here? He was very much not in a position to make it into the circle. As we now see Kickstart and Zenith coming in. And Virtue struggling again, man. I mean, they're just getting wiped out. They made it to top 8, but doesn't look like much more. As Zenith is continuing to make a little bit of headway here towards the tip of this crater here on the south side of this circle, but Hardshifts again, man. I don't know what Maluk has been eating and drinking, but these guys are always in the best. But all of them, the decision making from all of these guys has been out of control today.
I'm gonna need a piss test on the whole team to be honest with you after today.
Yeah,
Look at this though. Soniqs sending a lot of utility over towards One Eye Open here. They want to collapse onto this knock. H1 will find Winlow there. The flash comes through. Last member Patron on the wall will fall. And Soniqs will put themselves up to 9 kills now. They get themselves a little bit of space, but they're going to fight their way into this next circle, Godspeed. It's not an open path.
No, it's not an open path at all. They essentially have to wrap here to the left. The problem is they go to the west, which they are. They really don't have any cover. However, there's no teams currently holding that angle. So this is actually the best play for them to make. And I think because of that, Quinn has gathered that. He looked over straight across towards Minas. He saw that there was no one there. He knows that this side is clear, and this is really the path they have to take. They can actually wrap onto Zenith here if they wrap on the west side. Meanwhile, Hardshifts is getting ripped apart by Ascendance. Oh my goodness.
Okay, there was a team kill in there, but I think it was from the vehicle, right?
I assume. We got to that fight late, but Maluk down. It's just Lobes now. He is going to find one.
They might be able to save Maluk here.
I think they can.
I mean, the last member's Raven still up on the high ground. Yeah, he can over peek onto this, but potentially if J-Sank's in a good spot, he can stop any real damage coming down. But it's whether or not Raven's got a nade. If he can send a nade onto the backside of the shack, it's going to knock Lobes and flush out Maluk. That's actually a... Wow, that was actually a really nice shot from Raven. Shut down Poonage.
Yeah, that was a nice shot.
Zenith will fall in 5th place. Now's Raven going to hop in the Murado and he's going to go for it.
I think they're going to get Luke up though, which is huge. Having a 3-man in this circle is massive. He is sending it though a little bit towards the north side. I like this play actually. This is the safest position for him to be in the circle.
Yeah, he's just playing his life. He's gonna. Nobody's gonna mess with him up there.
Look at the vehicle graveyard around Hardshifts. Soniqs still in full force though. Arguably, I would say Soniqs actually has the best position. Unless this is
I think so.
A massive reposition from Luke, which he's just driving in circles.
Well, this is that STK spot. STK is so good at playing the side of this little entrance to Bendita.
I love this play. Soniqs is going to hear this, but it doesn't matter. This is going to open up some space. Oh, I'm sweating watching this. Yeah.
I mean, if he can get this underhand, it looks like it might be good.
Oh, so close. No, and Luke's gonna get taken down. That's unfortunate. That was such a huge anchor position for him to hold.
That's the game-winning play, though.
Yeah,
that's the game-winning play.
And I agree with it 100%. Even though Luke went down, that was the game-winning play because Soniqs did have the best position in the circle. That grenade. You want to talk about ambitious?
I mean,
I respect it, but it wasn't gonna make it.
I know Tick's been working out, but wow, Loeb's plucking him out of the Murado. Like some kind of Michael Bay movie.
Yep. And now it's just down to surprise, Hardshifts and Soniqs. But Gravity once again has made it into this, this endgame with 7 kills.
7 kills.
Yeah.
Like, how do they do it? They just keep putting kills up.
This is pretty much what Hardshifts did. If you remember, I think PCS1, they just would quietly accumulate kills here or there, get some points. As we talk about Hardshifts, it's not the team they are anymore. These guys are, just absolutely fragging everywhere they can. But Soniqs, have this wrapped up so nice, such a neat little bow on things if they can just clean this up. What is Hardshifts or Gravity to do here?
They need to get another knock on over. The first time around, they actually got Shrimsy on the side of the hill.
Yeah, if they can get 2 simultaneous knocks here, which is asking a lot, and I don't think Soniqs is going to give that to him. They have a chance, but with the repositions here...
Lipson,
I wish you all the best.
He pressured onto Hardshifts there, and now he's got the run in the open to do. And they go Shrimsy actually landing the headshot through the smoke. Soniqs will close the day out with a 14-kill win.
And as much as I give Soniqs credit for that win, they deserve it. Hardshifts, yet again, top 3 finish with at least, I think they had 10 kills or something close. They had a good amount of kills. Man. What a good day of PUBG, Puck. You know,
I stand by my earlier statement. That is probably the best day of North American PUBG I've seen in a long time, if not ever. Just the first 3 games to start off with, and I
yeah.
thought we were done then. We'd already had our quota, but nah, just insane from start to finish.
Not only that, but they made the mistake of letting us cast together. You know what I mean? So it all just came together as a culmination of true greatness today. I think so. I really think
Yeah, I
so.
mean, cock ups all round. Like I said, thanks to whoever could make it today because it's been an absolute pleasure to be able to cast with you guys. We're going to hold on for just 2 minutes. We're waiting on the match scoreboard and obviously the overall scoreboard, but a couple of really, I mean, Hardshifts really is the story of the day,
Yeah,
right?
that's the takeaway.
And Tactical 8. To be honest
Mhm.
with you, I'd probably give it to Tactical 8 because they've been the biggest surprise for
Yes,
me.
I would agree. Even though Hardshifts, I agree, had pretty much the best day overall as far as their finishes and their performances. Tactical 8, a team that again I said earlier, it's been hard to root for them because of obviously we both love Steezy and the guys, but they just haven't been performing well. I mean, it's just no real way to to put it. But today, man, was such a return to form for at least Steezy in my eyes, and the rest of them just making aggressive plays where they were more passive, really staying active in those circles. And I love to see this from Tactical 8. Anytime a team comes back from kind of being in the middle of the pack or towards the bottom is a win for me.
It is indeed. And I mean, as well, it's a really good precedent to set, especially in group stages. We say that, some
Oh yeah.
teams look at this as
Mhm.
Soniqs last time around, saying they see group stages as the scrims to get ready for the grand finals. But I mean, again, a way to bounce back, set a good first impression, get off on that, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
Tactical 8 today have pretty much outperformed themselves in the last 2 phases of PCS, to be honest with you.
True. Yeah.
Other than that, I guess, I mean, Gravity, shout out to them, obviously sneaking their way into, I think, the top 4, maybe
Yeah.
top 5. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but we'll take a look at the leaderboards as they come through. I think actually we're going to get a chance to have a chat with
Yeah.
somebody
Yeah.
from Tactical A. I think we are joined by the one and only SteeZybb.
SteeZybb, bro. Look at that
Look at that
smile.
smile.
Yeah,
There we
love
go.
to see it, man. Steez,
How's it going, boys?
how are you, brother? How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. I finally had a day where I didn't have wrist pain, so it turned out pretty okay.
Let's see,
Okay.
you're wearing a fairly huge wrist support there. Anybody who's not kept up to date with Steezy's Twitter or not? Well, you were out for 2 weeks or so.
I was out for a week and a little bit, and I just started playing again this week, and I was still getting some soreness yesterday, and I've just had it on a cold compress all day, but it's been okay.
Do you think that has actually been a big factor for you coming back and playing better than we've seen in a while? Because I mean, like I said,
man.
you guys.
I'm kidding.
No. Like honestly, I'm surprised you actually didn't break your wrist with that flick. That was disgusting. But what has, on a serious note, like what has really kind of been the factor, at least today? What would you attribute it to? Is how well you guys have been playing? Because you guys killed it today, man. I mean, better than we've seen you guys play in a long time, which was a treat to see.
I think the main thing was just really slowing everything down. I think getting used to things and not getting ahead of ourselves like we did last season, and just really taking things a lot more methodically has worked out better for us. Basically, just focusing on how we were playing off each other. I think originally that last season we dropped 2 of our old players, 2 of whom I'd played with for over a year, Grizz for a year and a half. So it was kind of adjusting to a whole new team dynamic. And I'm a very loose IGL. Like I make final calls, but I like doing what my team feels comfortable doing, and I like flexing out and trying different things. So just adjusting to 2 new players took me a little bit, but lately it's worked out a lot better.
I think actually it's really interesting you talk about slowing things down. I remember one really good example was that fight with DUEL on the edge of that ridge over on the west coast, and I was really surprised at that because Lush, like, he stayed alive for so long. He played his life. I mean, he literally stayed alive long enough.
So I mean,
I didn't want to say it. Thank you for saying it. But I mean, to be able to recover from a position like that, where again, I don't want to hate on DUEL here, but any other team would have pushed the ridge, right?
Yeah.
And then it's kind of a systematic clearance, then one by one of you guys lined up along that. So the fact that he's able to stay alive long enough was really fantastic. Is that something you've kind of worked on as in terms of scrims?
I mean, I think that our comms have been worked on to play a factor into that. Like, we knew the position he was in, we knew exactly what DUEL were doing. And obviously, like, they could have pushed up on the ridge, but we had side angles the whole time. And if they came over the top, we had two people constantly holding while one person inched up, and we just literally alternated whoever had the best angle. So as William and Z got into a position to shoot, I inched up and I had an angle on the right guy. Then I, smoked off Lush and I started walking up to him. And we just kept alternating like that. And I think that's basically been the style that we've been going for all day. Being pretty aggressive, but whenever it feels like anyone's getting ahead of themselves, we just hit the hard reset. We just kill all the comms and then we restart. And I think that's been a big thing for us.
Yeah, I agree. And it's interesting that you say that you guys slowed things down, because we can definitely see that in some of the fights. But I also feel like you guys have been way more aggressive than you ever have, and I honestly love it. Like the aggression that you guys show in positions that I feel like you guys would have kind of been way more passive in the past has been a treat. Is that something you guys have been like working on consistently to kind of make those more ballsy pushes? Or
yeah, I always tell my team, like, I'm never gonna tilt as an IGL if someone's trying to do something that's a playmaking move. Like, I think for me, it's like, if my team, the only thing I get mad at now is when people are too static. I think if everyone has to be pressuring until they get pressured back, and then if the pressure back gets knocked, then suddenly you've got a good team fight coming ahead. And if we get an opening, we'll pretty much just go for the push every time right now.
Okay, so here's the real question. Is this now the standard you set for you guys, for yourselves, I should say?
I mean,
can we hold you to today's standard going forwards?
I think this is just one day. Obviously, I think we're fully capable of consistently doing this. Do I think that we're a complete team and that we can be consistent constantly? I'm not sure yet. Obviously, I think it'd be a reach, but I definitely think that my team is more than capable of doing even better than we did today. I have full faith that Z and William are two of the best fraggers that I've had in my teams, and I've had a lot of good players on my teams. I think a lot of these guys just haven't really had their chance to shine. And if you look at my previous teams as well, like I think I've done a pretty good job about finding these guys that aren't necessarily as talked about and showing what they're capable of. And I think they're finally showing it.
You're right. You've had some good players. I mean, I've played with you, so
that's true. 10 kill Godspeed. I remember that.
But overall, man, I think honestly, Steez, I think that's a fantastic attitude to have, man. About and I think podcast is a great question. So overall, I mean, obviously, we're both over the moon and how well you guys are doing. We hope you can continue it. But yeah, man, any final thoughts? Any shout outs you want to give before we let you go?
No, not really. Thanks for casting this. I love when you guys cast. You're my favorite casting duo. So
on the rare occasion we're allowed to.
It's true, man. All right. Well, again, congratulations on your performance. Tell everyone on your team.
Thanks,
you guys did great, and we look forward to watching you in the future, man. Take it easy, brother.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, I do think we have the previous match leaderboard over, so we're going to take a quick look at that, guys. Just before we close out the night, as you know, Soniqs did take the chicken dinner in the final one, putting up 24 points in the final game of the night. Hardshifts again following with 15. Again, Gravity putting up a decent amount of points there, and a little bit of a different layout this time around. But some similar names at the top, I think it's safe to say.
Similar names at the top, indeed. And again, even on a bad game, TAC8, picked up 3 points. And that's really what it comes down to on the games, that if you have to salvage, as long as you're getting a few points here, there, it adds up in the end. And unfortunately for Pros Don't Snake and Veritas and Oath, and even Liberate, it's been rough. DUEL, also, honestly, all the teams on the right side have been kind of struggling. Team Clueless had a little bit of a better games in the past, or at least in the few games today. But yeah, I'm hoping this isn't a trend for PDS, honestly. I'm sure Veritas and Oath will pick it up. I'm not really worried about them, but so far this has not been the greatest entry into the group stage for PDS. But again, there's a lot of time to look ahead.
As we can take a quick look at how the leaderboard finished for the day. No surprises at all. Houston Hardshifts at the top with 82 points, 1 chicken dinner.
Damn.
Soniqs trailing just behind at 74, and they got themselves 2 chicken dinners, but Tactical 8, the one for me. And again, they only finished on 51. I know they had a rough time on Miramar, but still for me, the storyline for them, the storyline for me today is them.
Yeah, 100%. And this is in my opinion, this is a fantastic leaderboard. Obviously, there's an entire group C hasn't even played yet. Obviously, we're in a rotating group format, but this has been great. teams that we expected to really kind of dominate didn't, and the teams that we wanted to step up, you know, at least overall in a first game or a first day setting have. And that is what I am most looking forward to in these group stages going forward.
Absolutely, and that pretty
that's
much sums it up for the night. Yeah, we've done well to muddle our way through. Godspeed. It's been a pleasure once again to accompany you.
It's definitely. I love working with you, man. You know, I love working
Memories,
with you.
man.
Memories.
Unforgettable. Yeah. And I know Poro's watching this and he's hating us saying this
he
now.
Can't stand it, dude. I love it. That's actually the real reason I love casting with you. It's not because, you know, it's fun. Just to hurt Poro. Worst way possible.
Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for me and Godspeed tonight. Make sure you guys tune in tomorrow. Same time, same place. Clover and Matt are going to be taking you through all the games between groups B and C. I'm praying I just got that right, so I'm not going to backtrack. But anyway, thanks very much for joining us tonight, guys. Take it easy. I'll see you next time.